With that being said, yes, she's going to look at what's inside that box. She's going to find the severed head, and she's going to say, who did this? And Noah's going to say, it was me. And then she's going to send him home. We got to get out of here.
I got to go.
Hi, hello, and welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Another Bachelor Podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Pat, producer of the show's over there behind my glass.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
Talking to us, them.
Them.
Why didn't you check in with us?
I don't need to do that anymore. Like these social graces, they need to be dispensed with. I've known you guys for 10 years now or so.
Sure. I was giving you a shot to make fun of the fact that we just recorded for 40 minutes and did not press record.
Right.
Yeah. So
I don't like to talk about things that upset me.
It's going to be a great episode.
Right.
We know it intimately well.
Very well.
We know it very, very well. And because of that, I wanted to jump into general thoughts, new listeners. That's where we talk about the show generally. But we do need to get to some PSAs.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to keep this brief. And I already talked about this on our Patreon. But if you're not a Patreon yet, hey, this is new to you. Right. All right. So I know it's been a tough year for everybody. Not everybody's got $5, okay?
Yeah.
But we need your money. All right. So it would be wrong of me to ask you give me $5 unless I gave you a way to get that $5.
Yeah.
So here's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Christmas time or the holidays or however you guys like to frame it.
Yeah.
You got a lot of family members coming over. A lot of you people are sneaking people in through the back doors
Right.
and having family members over. Some you don't like, some you do like. Every time someone visits your house, usually for the holidays, you go, oh, where can I put my jacket? Because it's cold outside. Normally in that jacket, there's a wallet. Okay. What you do when they come over there, especially maybe the relative you're not a fan of, okay?
You're saying print out business cards for us, put them in their pockets.
No. What you do is you sneak that credit card out of their wallet.
Got it.
Okay? You pull out your laptop. You go into that patreon.com/Another Podcast Network. You put their credit card information into the Patreon so that they're paying every month. You're not. There's been studies that says a lot of, like 99% of people that have a banking account online don't actually look, okay, at their account and all the expenditures. $5 is like it doesn't even happen.
And how come this not a crime?
It's not a crime.
How come this not a crime?
It's not a crime at all.
I want to combine your guys' ideas. When you do that, though, put a business card in there for us. 2 birds.
Yeah. Right. Thank you on it.
So when the family comes over or some ugly cousins or something that you never see, grab their credit card information, plug it into patreon.com/Another Podcast Network, sign up for the $5 or $10 tier, and then just see what happens.
If you get caught, you go, listen, they have a lot of fun stuff. They've got Below Deck Season 3. They've got Flavor of Love. They're coming out with Love is Blind Season 2 very, very soon. They've got merch. It's a t-shirt that says Wine Hag. It's 10 months too late. It's not topical anymore, but it's ironic. That's why I stole your credit card, but it's not even really stealing.
It's not stealing.
All right, let's get to general thoughts.
We're not going to list a number of other examples?
No,
of things that
I
aren't
think that
stealing?
we should jump into the show and a fan favorite segment, that being general thoughts. Nick, why don't you go first?
Pretty okay episode. Again, paid by numbers. I've now said it 3 weeks in a row during my general thoughts. It's very standard Bachelor with Tayshia, only at time warp speed. We got like a mini 2-on-1 today because they don't have enough days to actually make it a whole date.
Right.
And why make it a whole another date when we're going to be at La Quinta anyways?
Sure.
Nonetheless,
A lot of
I'm
lazy
enjoying
production.
it. I think Tayshia's beauty makes it all the easier. 80 petals.
Pat.
Okay, so I think this is the best episode with Tayshia helming the ship here.
Post mid-season premiere.
Correct. It was kind of fun.
Innovative technique.
Yes. Let me say this. I'm going to utilize my time for my general thoughts to actually talk about some other stuff. One being, I did a little digging to see how many episodes we actually still have left in this season, because I'm like, how are they going to pull this off with hometowns and the guys tell all?
Well,
and all that?
we were fearful that we wouldn't get a Dean's Dad kind of Yogi on the floor type character.
Right. They are, in fact, going to do a guys tell all. I assume it's going to be through Zoom or something like that.
Those are really good.
There's 4 more episodes left.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's got to start whittling down this group a little bit quicker. There's too many guys.
Let's get decisive. Too many ideas to execute all of them, right?
Right. All right. So that's my first thought. So we have 4 episodes left. I'm curious how they're going to end this. My second thing that I want to discuss is I just don't want to get a lot of pushback with our recapping of this episode that we're about to do because.
Is it because of the bulimia and the drug addiction?
Yes. Those are topics that are generally very difficult to make light of.
We're gonna.
100%. So I'm just going to say this to you. Okay. We love you. And you know what we do here. We're going to do what we do.
We're gonna do what we do tastefully.
Or maybe not.
You know, like we're not going to do something like when Ben starts talking about his bulimia, play the Iggy Azalea song "Pussy."
Oh, we might do that.
Nick rap the entire first verse.
Right.
We're not going to do anything
Possibly
like that.
We're still in discussions about that.
So, anyways, we've got to get into the episode. Oh, my general thoughts, though. I thought this was going to be boring as shit because I don't give a shit about Noah and Bennett. I don't understand why this is propped up like some boring warfare, but even that part of the show was entertaining. I'm pretty sure Bennett is on the spectrum. We'll get to that later, though. 4 pots. So, Tayshia wakes up with anxious tummy.
Oh, is that what it is? It's about a IBS.
It's an anxious tummy.
Dylan, 30 million people suffer from it in America a year. Okay? It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Suffles.
If only there was a biological reason she was having
Okay. All right. She's not with child.
I can't call back to
She's
stuff
not
I deleted
with
it.
child. All right. So she lays out a baker's dozen croissants that she is not going to be able to touch, not because she's not starving. It's because that evil little fucking mouse in the corner is smacking her hand every time she tries to take one. Don't even think about it. 4 more left. You can eat all the shit you want for a week. And then I'll come knocking again. I'm sure Pat's wife, Cherie, is already talking about how you came in a little heavy.
That was my wife. Okay?
Dolores Umbridge.
That was my wife that said Tay came in
All right,
heavy.
so this spread is not for Tayshia, not to eat. It's also to torture JJ Fletcher as well. Now, Nick hopped on the Bachelor train mere seasons. I think a season, maybe season and a half, maybe even 2 seasons after JoJo's rise to stardom.
Was Nick on her season? It was,
Yeah.
He was the Bachelor after her
He was
season.
on Caitlyn's season. I don't know if he was on...
Oh, yeah, it was 2 after. We're getting in the weeds. I shouldn't have asked.
No. Don't worry about it. Part of our responsibility is to tastefully talk about the encyclopedic history that we have of this franchise.
And that's why we employ Dolores for you guys out there.
Dolores the clitoris. I had the last
Okay,
name.
so Nick, excuse me, great TV talk here from. I was going to say, what did JoJo and Tayshia talk about? I did not.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
JoJo was my favorite Bachelorette. She's looking really hot here. JoJo shows up post-wedding bliss. Oh, wait, she's been engaged for 5 years. They're not married. Let me say this. You know,
A success story.
Jordan and JoJo's marriage. Would you guys like to know something that will never happen? That.
Oh.
That will
That
never
was like
happen.
a Jeopardy type
Yeah,
thing.
you
We
set
got
that
the
up
answer
good.
first.
Yeah, that was wild.
They're never getting married, these two. Just what a woman loves to have happen to her. Be engaged 5 years.
I think JoJo's the one doing it.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. She wears the pants in that relationship. Jordan's he thinks too little of himself. He's got Aaron Rodgers there.
I got taught a lesson when I started dating ladies into their mid-30s or something like that. Like, hey, don't be a dick. If you don't plan on marrying this girl because she probably wants kids, you're wasting all her good fucking years.
Yeah. It is rude to do that to somebody.
Yeah.
It really is. I hate those stories of people in like 10-year marriages and then they fall apart. I mean, people grow apart naturally. But anyways, we gotta get back.
Sure. Hey, one side note. My wife, who is very judgmental, was saying that JoJo's face looked a little off. I disagreed wholeheartedly. She said she was punching a little too much of that fucking filler in her cheeks. That was my wife. If you guys don't like what just came out of my mouth, write to Cherie.
Put a little too much filler in her fucking face.
Or you mentioned success story, which is what Chris Harrison described.
That's how he frames it.
Yeah. That's how he described her 5-6 year engagement. His goal in the afterlife must be purgatory.
Yeah. Well, he's
Chopping at the bit to get that.
Hey, Dylan, you asked me earlier, or just a few seconds ago, hey, Patty, what were they talking about? They were talking about bonding over hurting someone's feelings. Both of them don't want to do it, which makes them poor choices for bachelorettes because you got to hurt someone's feelings.
Do it. That's what we bond over.
Exactly. Look what Claire just did to 20 guys for 3 weeks.
She didn't speak to them.
Right. And with that, I was thinking, Tay says to JoJo, hey, I'm not getting married unless it feels right in the moment. And I was thinking, it could have been real uncomfortable if Claire showed up instead of JoJo. It would have reminded her that she's lived for 39 years on this planet doing exactly that.
How are her and Dale doing?
As well as they can, I bet.
I'm excited to for that curtain to be pulled back. Be more sad than the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, she'll do an interview with Cosmopolitan, and I'll walk by it in the grocery line and go, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Who gives a shit? Oh, that didn't work out? Shocker.
Yeah. It'll be in the Inquirer magazine. It'll be former Bachelorette kills herself. And you'll be like, oh, that's such a joke. And then it'll start hitting the other racks. You're like, whoa, she really killed herself. Too much?
People magazine corroborated it. Holy shit, it must be true.
Okay, so Shitface walks in, says the room is getting smaller. Are you on fucking mushrooms, Chris?
Yeah. If there's less people, wouldn't you feel like the room is getting bigger?
There are less people. The room is remaining the same size. The illusion is the opposite of what you're talking about. Are you on fucking mushrooms?
He's on mushrooms.
He's an idiot. Did you catch what else he said? He goes, there's 12 of you left, and one of you tools needs to get down on one knee when Mickey tells you to, you bitch.
I'm not going to say I don't think he said that.
He did say that.
I just don't remember him saying it. I don't remember him saying it. But he does say that he's going to need to take a quick reprieve from the show because he's got to go be a great dad. Mm-hmm. Now, he's going to have to go to his son's graduation. You know, cry me river. He's such a good dad. The plane has so many women that have been bought and paid for.
Right.
So, you know, just temper. But because of that, he's going to have to go through a quarantining process as, at the time, I think California had some pretty strict regs going down with the big C.
If you're on TV, it's 2 weeks quarantine.
Yep.
So I guess we got JoJo. Or Hannah Ann showed up. And this is a little peek behind the curtain. You know, I like to do a little research before the show. JoJo might be week 1, and then Hannah Ann might come next week from Peter's season to kind of do some hosting duties.
Hannah Ann, the contestant I irrationally screamed at for an entire episode, and then was like, why are you so angry? She wasn't that bad. She was just a Sonic model. All right, so one of the biggest success stories, excuse me, Zach gets the one-on-one.
Call him the Lisperer.
Weirdo
People
Ben.
don't know who you're talking about.
I'm talking about the Lisperer. Weirdo Ben begins talking about his concerns with this process. He's getting a little worried, lacking a little confidence. But Zach has, some reasons to be a little shaky of his own. He kind of understates the concerns he has about the date. That is revealing that his life hasn't been, quote, straight and narrow. And by that he means that, he walked into a bank with pus coming out of his eyes, and then they had to call his dad to come down there and get him. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
On a scale of downplaying what you're about to really say.
Listen, white lies are extremely helpful. Extremely helpful.
As are lies of omission.
Yes, perfect. All right, so he comes out, fly outfit, white tee, baggy jeans, tucked into some high-top Nikes. It was tight. Mm-hmm. Thought it was a fly fit. Now, this is the most horrifying date I can imagine. If they were like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to be taking photos with Franco. That's the only silver lining of this date. But it's 100 degrees out. We're going to get you in 5 different outfits. And you're going to be pretending like you're at a wedding. I would say, I want to stay on the show because it's helping me with the career that I don't have. But I will fucking leave right now if you do not reshoot JoJo dropping a new date card for someone else. Because
Really?
I'm not doing it.
Really, though, Dylan, the most horrifying date ever? What if they did a wedding photography date where you had to change outfits and they took your picture for hours and stuff, and they murdered your family right in front of you?
That's
See?
a little bit worse.
Careful
You're
with your
100%
hyperbole.
Right. Okay.
Hey, can we talk about this photographer? I'm confused. Maybe he's a well-known photog or something, but just the way his overall aesthetic, and I don't like to judge people, you guys know that, but he looked like he could be a photog for the stars.
Creative director.
Or a guy who lives in a tent in an underpass that with a bunch of bicycles that he stole, and then trades blowjobs for crank.
Yeah, he looked like Terry from Reno 911. The only thing he was missing was the roller skate.
Shame on both of you.
What?
Shame on both of you.
What?
This man is not living in a box, sucking cocks for rocks. This guy is an acclaimed creative director.
Dr.
His
Seuss
name
mixed
is
with Andrew Dice Clay over here.
Franco Lacosta. He's an icon and a sorcerer of sorts. I wish I had his lust for life. And more than anything, I wish I had those legs. I mean, his legs are absolutely marvelous. Absolutely marvelous.
I noticed that he had some good skinny calves. That's what made me think it might be the later as opposed to a celebrity photog. But
what's crank?
Crank?
What is crank?
It
was the later, not the farmer.
What is crank?
Crank is basically cocaine, but masked with just like making it out of gasoline. It's what Walter from
He
Breaking
cooked
Bad.
meth. He cooked clean.
That's crank. It's another word.
Oh, that's crank?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's ice, brother.
Cool. All right.
I asked for a hit of cocaine and a lot at the Hard Rock Casino in a bathroom with a random guy. Turns out it was crank. I was up for 24 hours.
Also,
Yeah.
I believe it to be an action film with Jason Statham.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember us doing some stuff that was sold at head shops in New Orleans, and
Is that the shit where you'll
Salvia?
eat some guy's eyeball if he gets you
it was
mad?
not cocaine. I'm pretty confident it was bath salts because it did feel extra special
And you bit
extra
your
like
friend's
your
face off.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of being a druggie, the Lisper, when he's picking on one of those suits, I felt so bad for this poor bastard. He had sweat running down his whole back.
Yeah.
It was glowingly apparent he was going through withdrawals.
It's unfucking believably hot out there. And she is, and by she I mean the star of this television program that is Tayshia Adams. She's a little uncomfortable about this whole thing because it's fucking weird. And how could you not feel a little off about this one? But much like an Irish kid, little redheaded, freckly Irish kid with a drunk father.
Call him Timmy.
You just keep it bottled up.
Oh,
You put a tack strip over it and you keep the fucking thing closed.
You know what Freud said about the Irish?
They're the only people who are impervious to psychoanalysis.
That's correct.
Is that right? I'm Irish. My name's Patrick Hickey.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I don't think you're impervious to psychoanalysis. I think, and no one is. It's important to sit down across from someone and just talk it out.
Every time I've done it, I'm more curious about the therapist than myself.
Yeah.
Hey, why'd you get divorced?
Listen, after you stick around and pay that person upwards of
$300
$8,000 to $15,000, she will break down the walls and the defense mechanism that is the pointed curiosity at the person who's trying to help you. And that's when you'll start crying. Okay.
Hey, I want to say this. Tayshia
yeah.
being shook up, you guys had a different impression than I did. I thought she was shook up because it was almost like the Clare Dale move that time when he walked in. She's like, I think I just met my husband. Her being all shaken, I thought she's like, oh my God, I think I'm falling for this guy.
Yeah.
Or she's a great actress.
I'm confused about it. I want to play a little clip because she's nervous, but she says that she's lucky to have him there kind of helping ease the awkwardness of the day.
I think seriously. I'm like, I want this to be like when the real, you know what I mean?
What the fuck did you just say? You know what I mean?
He sounded like the teacher from Snoopy's cool son.
If he's taking
You know what I mean?
If he's taking this process so seriously, what's with the white coat? Right, guys?
Goofball was his Dumb and Dumber.
You know what? It's been a while because we haven't had the Bachelor or Bachelorette. I forgot the stupid talk that just goes in circles and they get to no actual point.
Right. Yeah.
Ari Lion Dyke was
Yes.
the master of this.
Right.
But even to Ari's credit, he talked in longer circles. This
Longer,
was just like a little scribble. He just went around.
You know
He's
what I
like,
mean?
I'm serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But it really put her at ease. And I am kind of blown away by Tayshia because there's a theme throughout the evening that she's unbelievably moved by empty and awkward, and we'll get to Ben, but sometimes psychotic displays of affection.
I've said this. She is the reality TV producers love a subject like Tayshia. She is a puppet. She is putty in their hands.
Yeah.
She's there with her A game on. I will be likable. I will listen to insane things and insane thoughts. I will answer them with a smile and a positive energy. Tayshia, raise your fucking hand and go, excuse me, producers.
No, dude.
I don't even know what this fucking guy just said. I think he's about to tell me that he sucked cock for crank.
Stop it. Stop being so tasteful. But she is, she's fucking Olivier, man. She's so pro. She
She's
just
mouse
comes to set and she gets the fucking job done. She knows this guy was on crank a couple of years ago. She's a pro.
She's such a pro. Let me paint the scene here. The producers love her so much, and I believe they're both, at the end of the day of shooting, they all like give high fives to Tayshia, and she's like, day 4 down, great job, girl, you're killing it. She goes back and drinks that vino, and then the next morning they show up like, let's push her to the edge. Let's see how far we can take this. Yeah. Tayshia, day 6, are you ready to go, girl? Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go. All right, today we're going to shoot a porn, okay? All right, I know it sounds crazy, but we're going to black out all the private parts.
Dude, he's being so tasteful again. It's tight.
It's network TV, Taste. Don't worry, your mom and dad will totally approve.
I wonder if her father does approve of all the kissies she's doing on the show, because she's getting pretty kissy with a lot of these guys.
She's a kissing bandit?
You
She
mentioned
is a
her.
kissing bandit.
You mentioned her, and the producer is just high-fiving after the day of shooting wraps. I bet they like warned her. They're like, "Hey, this guy's an addict." So like, you're probably just. We're gonna warn you because we're worried you might just get up and walk away if he tells you that, because no one wants to bring that into your life.
No,
I think
the only people who have that in their life didn't know about it, and the people who are already in their lives. So we're not gonna do that to you. We're gonna warn you, but you can do this, right? And she's like, "Oh, I got this. You'll act like I fucking care about him. I'll be proud of him for telling me. Who cares? I got this.
I'll tell him he's courageous."
Watch this. But I think that many producers have fallen into that trap of friendship with some of these. I don't want to be too disparaging, but the kind of people that host franchises like this, they probably feel some kind of kinship with them. And if they do let something slip, like, hey, hand signs, not that one, not that one, he finds them, and they don't work on this show anymore. You cannot tip them off. They have to fall in every pitfall you set up for them. All right. We get some outfit changes. I think there are 4 or 5 I'm going to throw up. And then we get a look at Franco's photography skills. These pictures were tacky. They were blown out. I was pretty heartbroken because I thought that we were working with a true professional here in Franco. So we get a little picnic before we go to the nighttime. And this is where Zach does a pretty good job, like making a silky custard. You know, you got to temper the horrific things that have checkered your life with. You can't just dump everything on her because it'll scramble the custard. Food analogy.
I like the analogy. It's apt, but let me just cut the mustard here and get to what the real conversation was. They both talk about their starter marriages and how it ended.
Sure.
Tayshia explains it ended because they were just too young. His ended because he sold his family's TV to buy horse tranquilizers.
Well,
but I do like this. It's a soft touch.
yeah.
Yeah, when he did it, I was just like you when he said it. I was like, this is like custard.
He's like Federer around the net. Okay, so let's get to dinner and
nighttime. Why
we watch this television program that has damaged people being cattle prodded into pouring their pain out on national TV. Now, we get revelations at this picnic like we talked about. But really quickly, at that picnic, this made me want to throw up. She's like, why are you so nervous? And he's like, let me tell you a little secret. And he leans in and he says, you do this thing where you take my breath away and I have to double look, so get used to it.
Too bad Ben should have watched this.
Seriously.
Can I tell you something? I am not a former addict. I'm currently an alcoholic. It's a whole different ball of wax. Addicts are great manipulators, even post-addiction. They never lose those ability to manipulate people.
You tap into a dark power source that's extremely it's fucking useful. It's fucking useful. There's not a lot of longevity to it. It's rather short-sighted, but you can pretty much get whatever the fuck you want.
I don't know.
You don't have to do things.
I don't know if I told this on this podcast a couple weeks ago. I got scammed. I got conned. I had two black guys.
Well, you didn't have to. You didn't say what color they were last time.
I didn't. I'm trying to paint
Just
a
in case you
scene
knew
here.
that.
Sorry.
And they had a car pulled over, and they basically they had the gas tank on top of the car. And I said, "What's going on?"
You already told this story, Pat.
maybe not on this show, but I do believe they were, in fact, drug addicts trying to get a little change together to head over to
full tank. Maybe 80%.
Master manipulators. They fooled me, and I am a cynical bastard.
Yeah, and just as he told it the first time, I'm once again shocked at your gullibility by such an amateurish scheme.
All right, so
Grift.
the dinner. It's tough because let me just go through the history of it. On the straight and narrow. On the straight and narrow.
Oh, good.
Goes to college.
Great family.
Graduates, great family. Gets a fucking glioblastoma or something. Maybe it was benign, but it's a brain tumor. They have to operate on it immediately. Now, I don't think anybody ever falls into addiction because of, good things in life. I'm sure there are levels of severity, but I think it's always
Lottery ticket.
running from pain a little bit. Exactly. But he really does seem like he just got a really unlucky blow to his life. Because if he didn't get this thing removed, he wouldn't have had pain pills for surgery, and thus you get addicted.
Right. I've watched, what's that show, Intervention, quite a bit.
Yeah.
This is usually an excuse most of these druggies lay into, which is I had back surgery.
Well, this isn't... But
Which is I had back surgery.
this wasn't quite like, I don't believe in chiropractic. I have a thing that in my brain that's going to kill me. So it's more forgivable.
I don't know if that's a very common story. Normally it's like, I'm going to get treatment and move on in my life. Remember,
Sure.
I came from a good family. I graduated college.
Yeah, exactly. Well...
Here's the kick in the ass, though. Sometimes it'll be, broken wrist. So then you get the pain pills, and then you become addicted to the pain pills, run out of your prescription, and then you start getting back problems because it's a withdrawal
That's
system.
right.
And that's when the back surgery gets recommended, which you get to re-up, and then you got your old excuse to
Hey,
fall
Nick,
back on. Tales all this time. I've listened to a lot of Dr. Drew.
And Nick, with that, let me address the birdies that are listening to this. Tomorrow on Facebook, spare me.
Oh,
I
you're
don't
so
want to hear
sassy
how
right now.
triggered you are tomorrow. We joke, we kid. And Dylan, to your point, I think you had said it might have been the brain surgery that was so traumatic he needed to start popping the pillies.
Silly Billy's
All right,
popping
fine. I don't think that's it. And to that, I will say why. I get the whole pop and pillies thing here, but may I do a rundown of the checklist of things that generally don't move past the popping of the pillies, but he did in fact engage in after having a great family and graduated college.
this is a bad case checklist.
Oh yeah.
This is a bad case.
Let me start. DUI arrest. Check. He was married to a young lady, manipulated, cheated on her, hurt her life. Check. Check fraud. Check. I believe he was arrested or for something else too and put in jail.
Sure.
Check.
Right.
Oh, I had a brain surgery and then I just started popping pills and then my life just unwinded.
Sure. So you are not really extending empathy at this point.
It's not empathy. I'm not buying his story. I think he's still being a manipulative piece of shit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
One sign or evidence to support Pat's theory is conspicuously absent from that checklist was attempt to sell kidney for more drugs.
He completely left off the fact that he put his gallbladder in a cooler and was going to drive it around a corner to somebody for cash. Yikes. Okay.
There needs to be an Uber for black market organs.
Totally.
It's too hard.
It can be called the Silk Road.
How would you get away with it? These fucking Uber drivers talk too much with too many questions.
All right. So it's a very sad story, but it's a hopeful story. And given that you just rattled off that big, long checklist, it's weird that Zach called this path in life the best ride.
Oh, not only that, Dylan, I want to harken back to just 20 minutes early in the episode after Tasha's heard this. Tasha said how lucky she was with this group of such great guys. If I was Tasha, I would have said, after the Lisper just gave me this information, hey, producers, do you mind coming over here so we can chat for a minute? What the fuck is going on? You think I'm leaving with a fucking drug addict? One of these guys doesn't even know how to spell limousine.
Well,
Another guy, I think he's a steroid dealer.
Which one is that?
Blake.
See, that's why I asked. You get confused here. But no, Pat, we've talked about this. Her friends are tipping her off. Not that one. Okay, let's get to a meanwhile. Noah says that, or back in the room that's getting smaller. Noah says that.
Can we fire him?
Noah says that he wants to avoid the group date and just spend one-on-one time with her. Noah, I don't know where you get this weird culty confidence, but you're fucking annoying. Mm-hmm. I'm with Bennett. I adore Bennett's character, but he is a complete schmuck. But he's right that Noah has quite literally 0% chance to hang out with Tasha. He goes against her ethos on this show, and that is that she wants a grown-ass man.
You're 25, Noah. Where's all this machismo coming from? Just because you jumped over a fence to wrestle a guy for 4 seconds,
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're a man, dude.
Maybe that's propelling him over the ice.
It is.
I actually think you mentioned his culty thing. It looks like from his Instagram bio, he's a real strong church camp kid. And no one has more confidence that someone than someone who thinks they're promised an afterlife.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, listen. You told me, and you really convinced me. You fly this plane into this building because this guy named Dick Cheney told you to. You'll get to fuck 72 women for the rest of your life. I'd be like, listen, I was going to go with one, so I'll take that. It's the power of dogma. It's dangerous, everybody. All right. So, Easy Allegations gets the one-on-one. Zach gets the rose.
Call him the Lisper. People don't know who you're talking about.
Hops on the Ferris wheel. And we get to the next day.
Oh, the group date?
Yeah.
I'm going to do kind of a half-ass group date roll call.
Well, first, if you'll calm down.
All right.
And yell next day. That would be
next day. Group date. Here's who's going on it. Noah, Patrick Bateman / Bennett, Ben Body Shame, Poodlehead, Riley. Yeah, that's who she should be with. He's a lawyer. Right. Blake, steroid dealer. Yeah. Spencer, DeMar, Meathead Ed.
It's so weird the order he read it in because it went Spencer, Ivan, Ed, Blake, Brendan, Riley, DeMar, Bennett, Ben, and Noah. But you went just
he mixes it up. He's got a beautiful mind and a different cadence when it's not a full roll call. When he does a roll call, it's like he's listing off things on a game show. But when he doesn't do one, it's more like a fireside chat. Spencer, Poodlehead. All right. So, they're going to be sketching a couple weird hippies in the middle of this room that looks like the set of Shark Tank got ripped to pieces. Noah somehow allows himself to be forcibly removed out of his seat by Bennett, which was such a power move.
It was.
Such a power move.
This is why we know he's a bitch, actually.
Noah.
Yeah.
He weirdly knew what was happening. He was like, what? You just made this up. But as he was walking away and submitting to Bennett's will, a lot to learn for young Noah.
It reminds me of when I purchased the Stride mystery flavor gum at the gas station.
You fucking
I was like,
Noah,
what are you doing here?
bitch,
What are you
idiot.
doing? What are you putting this on the counter for? Why are you giving your card? Can't speak English. All right, so I love Bennett. He's absolutely hilarious, but like I said, I'm pretty positive that he's on the spectrum because he says some really bizarre things sometimes.
The term on the spectrum has always bothered me. I feel like it's like a failure of English language. Whether or not you have autism, we're all on the spectrum. You're just strongly on one side if you're a normal person. But anyways, continue.
Thanks.
With the couple. And then I added a little bit of the background noise just to note that there is, always some drama going on around.
Hashtag overcompensating. Oh, you're so smart and deep. You couldn't spell limousine, you idiot, and do basic math. A fourth grader could have done that in that room.
I'm looking at this drawing to see how he incorporated the darkness all around, right? It's a guy fucking a girl with 2 palm trees in the background. They're on some type of floating table and there's a heart over their heads. I'm not seeing the darkness, and I don't know what he was talking about. Okay.
So deep, Patrick Bateman.
Clay.
Harbor?
The material clay is up next. They will experiment with a couple different shapes. The shapes are meant to be something that symbolizes your time on the show with Tayshia. So naturally, Spencer makes a pizza, Brendan makes a brownie, and Blake makes a big cock.
I think the brownie was a microaggression.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, Blake, I don't know why he is... I don't know why Blake gets here, why he gets any attention, why he's allowed to talk as much as he is talking.
I agree with all of that, yet weird juxtaposition. I think he's also going to be in Bachelor in Paradise, despite us him being nothing. He's getting
100%.
too much airtime.
100%.
They seem to like him,
Yeah.
and he's definitely going to be getting pity and friendship roses all over the place, so some of the hotter girls can wait around to see who else is going to show up.
Yes, and you know what? It makes me sad to say it. I'm willing to put some odds down on this, get a little action on the couch here, but I think Riley's going to be in Paradise, and I think it's going to be fucking sad.
Oh,
It'll be boring.
Riley's going to be in Paradise, and he's going to be, super, super fucking boring.
He's going to be boring, and we're going to be like, why are you here? What happened to your legal work that you do defending pharmaceutical companies? All right, moving on. We've got some heart wrenches in the last exercise. They are told to make self-portraits. And that the self-portraits are their opportunity to open up as much as they possibly can to Tayshia.
Is this when Ivan goes on the tragedy tour?
Yeah, so let me just rattle off a couple things here. They are some heart-wrenching stuff, and I was actually kind of moved by a lot of them. Brendan's picture frame move was like suave as fuck, inventive, minimalistic, clean, and cute. Ivan's puzzle thing was so very sad. Do you want to make a baby crying noise right now?
My grandma's sick. My dad's dead. My fucking aunt has chlamydia.
What are you talking?
Who cares?
Okay. Right.
No one cares. Everyone has tragedy.
He's on one. Blake's is pretty cute too. He draws a seagull with like 15 arms and says that the cops used to come over to his house all the time.
He also says he likes to kill things.
We're gonna get sued for libel.
Parody law.
Listen, I want to be in that courtroom so badly.
Dude, put me on the fucking stand.
The prosecutors are like, he said that my client's aunt had chlamydia.
And he's also on record as diagnosing 43 men as drug addicts.
We can't let this man speak into a microphone any longer. Judge slams the gavel. I agree. What is the sound of that noise?
Just one of the cameras dying.
Okay, so Riley tells a
sign
sad
we've been here too
story
long.
and also has spaghetti clouds. I just thought it was a piece of shit drawing.
Hey, Riley, come up with a better sad story, man. Your dad took off. Who gives a shit? Happens to a lot of people, probably half the population.
You actually said this off mic, of course, but this really was the moment for all these men who definitely aren't.
There's fucking Darth Vader. I'm going to break that thing with a fucking hammer.
You will not.
This was definitely time for some of the men who knew they weren't going to be getting any more one-on-one time with Tayshia to get out their sob stories.
Yep.
Is essentially their pitch, their elevator pitch to be on Bachelor in Paradise.
Well, no better example of that than Ben. His wheels start turning and they start kind of spinning off their axis because he's got so much to say, but he's bad with words. So he opts to speak a rather universal language that is pulling your cock out to the mate that you're trying to impress or be open with. Now he says, naked, this is me. I'm giving all of this to you. The physical body and everything inside. Mm-hmm. Now, the only thing weirder than him doing this, really weird, was Tayshia being emotionally blown away by this.
Oh, she said it took a lot of courage, and she cries to production. I believe that was her attempt to get over to them to say, save me. I mean, a different Bachelorette would have, once again, Tayshia, great puppet, Tay. You're doing a great job there, or you think you are. This was wonderful because I can't believe this was your reaction. You barely know this person. He just said, I want you to know you have everything that's on the outside, which may in fact be a small penis.
Yes.
And everything that's on the inside, and he just ate a burrito.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
This is an insane thing. Another Bachelorette would have probably gone to production and said, this is too far.
Right.
I'm uncomfortable with this.
I can't agree enough, Pat. Rachel Lindsay probably would have done a 3-part podcast series with Van Lathan. Actually, she might have done it. I'm not up with.
She would have framed it as sexual assault. Yeah. This man would have been up on charges.
Her and Ashley and Jarrett have a 3-hour YouTube video discussing
Oh,
this
no.
thing.
When it's this serious of a topic, Dylan,
She goes to
it's
Van.
called a round table.
Okay, so
I hold on. I do want to say this, though, a little bit more here. This is an insane thing by Ben. Him doing this is insane.
he gets naked and says, you can have this. And that's his way of exposing himself emotionally.
My wife said it all. She said he must have a big dick that he wants to show off. Hey,
That's an
if
unusual.
you got it, flaunt it.
That's an unusually prescient, not bitchy thing to say, but said by Sheree about this program.
All right, so does anybody get a rose? I feel like I
No.
wasn't. Nobody gets a rose.
No, I think they just go to like night date or something.
All right, let's get
She
to-
doesn't want anyone to leave. She wants this to go on forever.
Yeah,
Little
exactly.
does she know it needs to end because Matt James is coming up, the show we all really want to
Who
watch.
gives a shit about Matt James? He better blow me away.
You never care about The Bachelor. It's all the wacky broads trying to chase his heart.
No, we need good bachelors. We've been victims of terrible bachelors
I
over
agree.
the last couple seasons.
He's going to be the Tony Mandarich of Bachelors.
He knows who the fuck that is. All right, cockies.
Cocky.
Any highlights before we get to the story of bulimia?
I do want to say Spencer for hire. Spence is such a good-looking guy. I would have thought if he would have stepped out of the shadows a little bit earlier, he'd be a front runner at this
What
point.
do you mean out of the shadows earlier?
Well,
He was
He
all
made
in her
noise right
face.
away.
Yeah, he was up in her face, and then he just floated into the background.
Background.
I don't
Yeah.
think he likes black chicks.
that's a possibility.
They honey dicked us into thinking he was going to be the villain of this season.
Yeah,
Do
and
you
then
not-
along came Noah.
yeah,
Give me Spencer. I want to look at him.
more like Noah Chance.
All right, let's talk about bulimia.
okay.
Okay, so this is a story. Ben discovered girls at the age of 15, a little late, and also found out that they didn't like people who were fat at that age. Again, a little late. You should probably figure this stuff out by being bullied mercilessly at around 7, 8, maybe even earlier.
This sounds like a child who didn't watch TV or wasn't allowed to watch TV by his parents.
It's like a Waldorf kid. But it's sad stuff. It's a terrible disorder. The worst part about it, the acid coming up your esophagus and your gums.
It burns
getting
your
gray.
throat.
It's really, no, that's not,
Your teeth will fall out.
that's not the worst.
Do you know, it's the
I tell you
dental damage.
He's in a
Any
he's in
dentist
a,
will tell you, do not be bulimic.
Oh, I
He's
dated
in
a girl with bulimia.
He's in a psychiatrist's office. They go, "What was the worst part about it? Stung your throat. 10 years, I had the stingiest throat." No,
Wait, I got to hear Pat's harrowing story. I'm assuming this girl.
I
breath
think we
smelled
should
like
probably move on. We should probably
But let's
move
hey,
on.
hold on. I want to play the clip of him. I want to play the clip. Play the clip.
I don't mean we have to move on for the entire thing. I mean, I think he looks fantastic.
I do too. Play the clip. Play the clip.
The reason that I'm in fitness and nutrition. I had an eating disorder for 15 years. I found out what girls were when I was 15. I realized they don't like the fat kid. And so stopped eating, started working out all the time, lost like 70 pounds, and had bulimia for 10 years. When I was in my 20s. It's hard to hide something for so long. I kept it from everybody. The only person that knows is my sister. You know, she saved my life. And, you know, I'm finally in a place now where I feel safe and comfortable with the people that I live and work with. I didn't want to get, like, weirdly emotional. But I care a great deal about this. It's just hard for me to let it out.
Okay. So for the fans out there, the birdies out there that know what good old Patty might think of this little speech that he gave, let me just say this. I'm not going to make light of the bulimia because that's horrible. What I'm about to do is because this man thinks that sharing this is going to help move along his journey for love with Tayshia disclosing this. Nikki, are you ready? Hit the music! It's DJ Patty back in the pussycat!
I don't know if I am ready. I feel like that was the pussy illy. What are the Amazon taste this kitty? Silly Billy, poppin' Billy, smoke 'em like a swisher, lick this Philly, molten, suck 'em, hook 'em like crack, aftershock, molten, lava drop. This should be outlaw, call me pot, pussy. Pussy, illest on the planet.
Hey,
Mr. Gambit.
So
If you want to hang here, ain't no hammock left.
Hate
Right.
this bit.
Back to the middle. Back to the middle.
Hey!
Enough. Now we're done. I'm blowing
You
my
hate
brains
that
out.
bit?
Hate this bit.
I know
Hate
the
this
words
bit.
to Iggy Azalea's pussy.
That's the bit.
All right, so I already said my piece here with this. I'm not making light of this, but what I am going to make fun of is, what the fuck are you, what business do you have disclosing this on TV? Who do you think you're helping with this? A bunch of guys sitting at home going like, oh my God, he's so courageous. Thank God he brought this up. We all know what you're doing here. You're saying this, thinking that Tayshia is this is gonna warm her heart and get her all juicy.
Don't say juicy.
You know what wouldn't get juicy? Can you imagine if this idiot 5 years ago said, gave this speech, when I was a kid, I used to eat the whole bag of Doritos and then I used to gag on them because I hated myself. Caitlin Bristow would have punched him in the face and get the fuck out of here, you pussy. My, how times have changed. God.
We're going to war.
Thank God we're not going to war. But China will take us over.
Now, if we make it illegal, export labor to them. Shut the economic engine down. Don't rent 2028. All right, so I think it's a good time to take a little fucking break to hear a word from our sponsors. Guys, tonight, this episode is brought to you by Magic Mind, the world's first productivity drink. Want more creativity? Even flow, more energy and less stress. Don't drink fucking bang, right?
Or Jocko Go.
Or
I
Jocko
love you.
Go.
Love
They're
you,
all
Jocko.
they're disgusting beverages. They don't give you clean energy the way Magic Mind does. How do you get it? You go to magicmind.co to get the 2-ounce shot that contains 12 magical ingredients that are scientifically designed to improve your productivity, energy, and mood. CEOs, doctors, musicians, Nick, Dill, Pat, and even Navy SEALs drink it in the morning. It's the single most important part of my morning, and it allows me to do more and stress less while doing it.
You can either do nothing,
Yeah.
or you can fucking kill it like Dylan.
Yep.
And the only way you do that is by going to magicmind.co.
And when Nick says it's the only way that you can do it, he really means it. I know there's a lot of meditation apps and self-help books that kind of promise gumption and that you'll kill it like Dylan, but it doesn't fucking work the way that Magic Mind does. So go to magicmind.co, enter the promo code BACHELOR. You'll get 15% off. And remember, this is a double dragon type of campaign. You guys are not just improving your lives by drinking this magical elixir with 12 magical ingredients. You are cementing yourselves as our favorite fans, because should you lose out we'll still love you, but we'll love you a little bit less. And I know that's hard to hear. So go to magicmind.co, promo code Bachelor, 15% off. It's a great gift for the holidays. Let's say you got some schnook of a brother-in-law or a cousin or something like that. You go, hey, I want you to get your fucking life together. Get some Magic Mind for them. Roll into the new year with clean, even, stress-free energy, courtesy of the boys at Another Below Deck Podcast and magicmind.co. Guys, tonight, this episode is brought to you by Magic Mind, the world's first productivity drink. Want more creativity? Even flow, more energy and less stress. Don't drink fucking Bang, right?
Or Jocko Go.
Or Jocko Go.
They're
They're disgusting beverages. They don't give you clean energy the way Magic Mind does. How do you get it? You go to magicmind.co to get the 2-ounce shot that contains 12 magical ingredients that are scientifically designed to improve your productivity, energy, and mood. CEOs, doctors, musicians, Nick, Dill, Pat, and even Navy SEALs drink it in the morning. It's the single most important part of my morning, and it allows me to do more and stress less while doing it.
You can either do nothing,
Yeah.
or you can fucking kill it like Dylan.
Yep.
And the only way you do that is by going to magicmind.co.
And when Nick says it's the only way that you can do it, he really means it. I know there's a lot of meditation apps and self-help books that kind of promise gumption and that you'll kill it like Dylan, but it doesn't fucking work the way that Magic Mind does. So go to magicmind.co, enter the promo code Bachelor. You'll get 15% off. And remember, this is a double dragon type of campaign. You guys are not just improving your lives by drinking this magical elixir with 12 magical ingredients. You are cementing yourselves as our favorite fans, because should you lose out, we'll still love you, but we'll love you a little bit less. And I know that's hard to hear. So go to magicmind.co, promo code Bachelor, 15% off. It's a great gift for the holidays. Let's say you got some schnook of a brother-in-law or a cousin or something like that. You go, hey, I want you to get your fucking life together. Get some Magic Mind for them. Roll into the new year with clean, even, stress-free energy, courtesy of the boys at Another Below Deck Podcast and magicmind.co. All right, we're back. Bennett and Noah have a little bit of a squabble here. Should we hold off? We're going to talk about them later.
I just think Noah held his own in this preamble.
Okay.
I do. I like the kid.
Yeah, no, that's tight. I just don't give a shit. I don't know how Pat feels, but anyway, so Blake is having regrets. How do you say that word? About sculpting a giant cock out of clay. Should we hold off on that?
Yay.
Okay, so let's get to Easy's date. The premise of this date is that the La Quinta Resort, which has been around for some time, is, get this, haunted, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know what the fuck this date is. I have a feeling that it is a blind spot or a failure to adapt in production. Maybe they had this slated for the Halloween portion of Clare's season and they just said, fuck it, we've already paid for the dolls. But I don't know what's going on. I think it's a terrible date.
This stunk of a 47-year-old producer on this show raising her hand when they're like, Jesus Christ, we got to get a date with this guy who's definitely on the chopping block and will not be here tomorrow.
She's like, I have an idea. Every night I watch a show, Ghost Hunters,
Ghost
I
Hunters.
eat a bunch of yogurt.
They love it.
Yeah.
So let's do it. Let's just turn the lights off and we'll just do night vision. I couldn't even see what was happening.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if I was Easy, I probably would have been like, when the date started, when they put the premise out there, I would have just looked at Tasha and said, I'm going home tonight, right?
If you really break this down, this was just the date she had with Ivan, but with the lights off.
Yeah, exactly. It was, I loved when she said the floor is lava and it's scary everywhere. It made it really tough.
And easy use pillows like a bitch.
It was either that or you remember in No Reservations where Tony Bourdain and his eclectic cast of characters that produce the show would like theme certain episodes about directors that no one's ever fucking heard of. I think somebody might have gotten a creative itch and been like, we're going to do this all in black and white. But I don't think so.
Maybe initially the date was called the Clare Witch Project, and then they were like, "Oh, great, Tasha! What the fuck are we gonna do now?"
That'd be so on the
Episode
nose.
title.
We knew that. What was the episode title?
Clare Witch Project.
Love that. Love that. It might not be the title.
But you love it.
I do love
and
that
helps.
though. All right, so I have really nothing from the Spookies.
It's not. There's nothing there.
But
it should have been edited out.
The dinner.
They should have said it didn't work out and he went home.
Just that evidently Tasha is impervious to nature's first law, that fear is nature's most powerful aphrodisiac, because she didn't get juicy at all.
Stop
Saying the word juicy.
saying the word juicy. So the dinner was fun though.
Oh, sure it was.
First thing I want to say, call me Tim Gunn. Didn't like the garment. But Easy starts off with a pretty crazy line here. He says, when you're in love, you have to match the other person's energy. So when you're scared, I'm scared. When you're happy, I'm happy. One, this is absolute bullshit coming from a person who is in love. I love my wife very much most of the time. And I don't ever have to match her fucking energy.
No.
In fact, we're pretty much the opposite.
That's why it works.
You don't have to match the other person's energy when you're in love. But two, what'd you just say?
I'll tell you what he said. He said he's starting to fall in love with her.
Pat, tell us what those drills were where you used to get under the desk.
It was the 80s. It was a different time.
That was an old man joke. You get
No,
it?
But
it
he
happened.
did those.
Did you do those?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And also the day before tomorrow was a viewing that we had to watch in school.
What was
the day after tomorrow,
What
sorry.
was the day after tomorrow?
It was us going to a nuclear war with Russia. It was very scary.
That's right, because you were probably in elementary school at the tail end of the Cold War.
Yes. It was
was-
terrifying.
It was like you
ramping
guys
up.
had to watch the Jake Gyllenhaal vehicle where natural
It was
disasters
terrible.
were.
I never bought into the water reaching New York City.
I don't see how that's educational for any class.
What I was doing there was the first, actually, phase 2 of the love progress.
Yes.
He's starting to fall in love. He is falling in love. He is in love. It's, stage 2.
I think we're at stage 3.
Is it?
I think so. He says when you're in love, you match the other
Oh,
person's
that's true. He's
energy.
conflating things here.
Yes, it's very confusing.
Which is
love
moving
which is
fast.
crazy
Moving
because
very
easy is
fast.
absolutely the very definition of the word basic.
Right, right.
I actually thought this was crazy and quite possibly monumental. He might have been the first person to drop the L-bomb. And he's like, I love you. And she's like, get out.
She did say that.
She did say that. She said pretty much exactly that. The sending him home was very HR-y. She goes, I wanted to do this in a setting where I could tell you how amazing you are. I didn't want to just have a quick exchange at a rose ceremony. So, bye.
Dylan, I actually have the exact transcript of their
I
conversation.
don't think you do.
She said he's a solid guy, but she's not there yet because he's amazing. But it's been 9 days, and although Ben had a small dick and the guy with the list smokes crack out of another man's asshole, they don't weird her out as much as you do. Please leave.
All right, next day.
And wouldn't you know it, Easy refused to take no for an answer.
Allegations. Takes you serious.
Yeah, that's like an R. Kelly song. Easy allegations. I don't know. Call him crazy.
You want to hear an R. Kelly song?
Sure.
Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob? Be the chorus. To America. I mean the choral. You can still call him a chorus.
You got it.
Do you guys want to hear another song by Iggy Azalea?
Nope,
No.
definitely not. So next day,
Next segment.
JoJo Fletcher walks in, looks like a beautiful genie. She burns the shit out of Noah and then sets up a quick chat between them before the night date. Now, this is what Nick had talked about. They kind of squeeze this in. It's not really a 2-on-1. It's more like a you got to go to the principal's office before you can go on the field trip kind of thing. That was a convoluted analogy, but kind of like that. So Bennett and Noah are going to be facing off, 2 Rams, not quite shaking hands, or we're pretty close to that. It's one Ram giving a gift to a younger Ram. Bennett, I should not do this.
But all the gifts to the younger Ram were pretty passive aggressive, I felt like, by the older Ram.
Well, let's talk about, and thanks for yes-anding that bit.
And these Rams are evolving. First, they're just fighting, like, out of natural instinct. Then they're shaking hands. Now they are purchasing gifts at stores or quite possibly Amazon.
Yes, and they're getting into wealth management. They're going to Ivy League educational institutions.
No, they're lying to people about wealth management.
That's true.
And Ivy League educations. And they are line cooks and also Dear John type characters.
So let's talk about the gift that this old Ram gives this young Ram. Number one, it's a 3-part gift. Number one is a friendship gift. It is a red bandana for what? I don't care. No, it's something about cowboys.
Yeah.
Noah's a Texas boy. He's
an
ranch.
Oklahoma boy, but we get some insight into more of Bennett's lies. He said that he spent some time as a cowboy character or something like that. Mm-hmm. I think that this guy goes around like off-brand theme parks, and we'll talk to him one day. We'll get to the bottom of
Oh yeah, we'll have him in.
He's cooked a couple funnel cakes in his life. Okay, number 2. It's a goof gift. It is mustache socks. He has washed them and handed them over. The only place a mustache should be is on your feet. Number 3, this is the life-building gift. It is a book on emotional intelligence and a comprehensive breakdown of where Noah's strengths and weaknesses are in that regard.
Now, Noah has no response to this. And I was thinking, because I've done a lot of thinking about Bennett lately. As he was delivering this monologue, I was like, what's next for this fool? Sure, 5 million people watch this. I'm pretty sure of that. More than half will hate Bennett. The other half will remember him as a weirdo. Either way, his DNA is in fact out there. I assume one of his relatives has signed up for 23andMe, which will direct him in that database. Thank God, because now we've seen your on face. Your image is available. You will not be allowed to kill Bennett.
I still think our legal system has a long way to go before people submitting their DNA to 23andMe will result in convictions.
Are you talking? Did you watch Minority Report?
Yeah, I think he was talking about Minority Report.
He is not trying to belittle Noah when he does this. He is trying to, quote, love him up. Now, Noah says that he may... Noah says that he may not have gone to Harvard, but that he's being himself the entire evening. And to quote Bennett, this, my friend, is where we begin to folly. This is insane, but also... This whole thing is so well thought out from him. There's a lot of effort and there's a lot of creativity placed in one box. I cannot love this man more. And when I say I can't love him anymore, I don't want the audience to be confused. I don't love this man.
No.
But for the feeling that I do have for him, you know, he's reached the ceiling in my book. He's been a fun character. It's time for him to go home.
And I think it is because that Tayshia stares down at the box, and the last line of the episode was, "What's in the box?"
It's from a famous little movie.
Yes. 7.
Legend of the Fall.
Right.
What?
Oh, right. It was from Legends of the Fall.
Sorry. So, Tayshia.
Noah's lucky number 11.
Excuse me. I just want to really quickly before we go. I want to talk about Noah's defense to Tayshia. He rats like a fucking filthy, gnawing rat. And begins to just spell out all of Bennett's wrongs. And Bennett counterpunches with a bevy of corrections that I want to get into. One, Noah quotes him saying, there is 100% chance Tayshia would never be with you. He says, no, I said there was 0% chance you would be with Tayshia. It's cleaner, it's more concise, and has more flames. I would never speak the way that you just spoke. Number 2, you said that... you think I'm a 14-year-old? He says, no. I said that speaking to you is like you speaking with a 14-year-old because of the 11-year difference. Great math. And again, a ton of flames. But Tayshia sits back and is almost disgusted by this. Tayshia, I'm not sure if you're aware, but what is happening is unbelievably tight. And Bennett is one of the tightest guys you have here. So I don't know why Ben, thick neck Ben weirdo, pulls out his cock and you cry and you're disgusted by how tight Bennett's being. It really made me upset. Somebody needs to unscramble Tayshia's wires because she's not making correct decisions. With that being said, yes, she's going to look at what's inside that box. She's going to find the severed head, and she's going to say, who did this? And Noah's going to say, it was me. And then she's going to send him home. We got to get out of here.
I got to go.
We'll be back next week. Remember, patreon.com/Another Podcast Network, magicmind.co. It's a great gift for people over the holidays. Again, ripping your aunt's plastic out of her wallet over Christmas is not thievery. It is not even unethical. It is the right thing to do. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Later.